Tune in to Heartland for the best in true country music. Relive vintage specials, one-of-a-kind concerts, and country music's earliest videos. Heartland is the heart of country, the only place where you can find country music, country stars, and country lifestyles 24/7. Heartland, the heart of country.
Now on channel 13.2.
A top secret location. It's the spies who love me, bringing together MeTV's top super spies to fight evil at a memorable moment's notice. They're daring.
That's right.
Brave.
Now what are we gonna do?
The best we can.
Suave.
Does that apply to me, Oscar?
Possibly.
And smart.
The old finger in the gun trick.
Maxwell Smart.
MeTV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
Hi, I'm John Mallis. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this day. It's a Tuesday morning. Today, we have a couple of experts in the house talking about a very hot topic, a topic that's not going away anytime soon. In fact, it should be top of mind for everyone. Talking about texting while driving. And have you ever heard of something called text neck? 436 MeTV option 11. Back in a moment. Back here on the program on a Tuesday morning. Already it's Tuesday, and I just want to inform you about the rest of the week. Tomorrow we're going to talk about nursing homes. Very interesting topic. A new one coming to Fresno in the near future. We'll talk about that. And then on Thursday we're going to talk to the police chief out of Madera. And we're talking about gang violence, and I mean major type gang violence in the small town of Madera. Yes. And then Friday, Peter Nazaridian is here. He is a family therapist of both child and family care. And we're going to talk about depression and how many people are depressed, what kind of depression, what types of depression there are across the board, what kinds of medication are people taking, and what about the shooter in Tennessee? Revelations that he was depressed and on drugs and alcohol before that shooting rampage took place last week. All right, you're watching us on Comcast, channel 187 as usual. And by the way, in the coming month or so, like late August, I would assume, haven't been officially told this yet, but as I understand it, our Comcast channel is going to change. It will no longer be 187. Ask me why, and I'll tell you, I have no idea. Out of my hands, my friends. Anyway, if you want over-the-air broadcast, 13.1, 43.6, and 13.1, 4 stations at one time live. The replay comes later in the day at 2 in the afternoon, 13.6, 8 o'clock tonight on 4.6 Biz TV. You'd be surprised how many people actually watch the replay as opposed to the live broadcast. Anyway, the Twitter account has not changed. It's the same at John Mallows, Me TV. Big question today is, how many hours do you spend in front of your computer? How about your telephone? And the bigger question is, how much time do you spend updating like your Twitter account, your Facebook account, and you're hunched over like this, okay? Bad for your health, my friends. Let's go to the videotape, show you exactly what I'm talking about as I sit up straight here in my chair, because I don't want to get text neck. Many of us are spending 2 to 4 hours a day, and some kids are spending up to 5,000 hours a year reading their cell phones, leading to chronic pain known as text neck. And believe me, some doctors are saying that patients are getting younger and younger and younger these days. They are looking down for hours at a time, causing major problems, of course, when they become adults later in life. Text neck is where the proper curve in your neck and the cervical spine is reduced and can be even moved forward to a certain point. A good curve is ideally roughly, they say, from what I understand, about 40 degrees. We have an expert in the house. He'll kind of clarify that. All right, now check this out. Animated video. When you're standing or sitting straight, your head weighs about 10 to 12 pounds. As we move forward, at 15 degrees, it weighs about 27 pounds, as you see there. 30 degrees as you're hunched over, 40 pounds. 45 degrees hunched over, 49 pounds. And when you're hunched over at a 60-degree angle, your head puts a 60-pound strain on your neck. Oh yes, and then there is the issue of texting and driving, especially with teens. The result can be deadly.
Much easier. You know, I get kind of bored when I'm driving and I need to know what's going on. So now, with this huge screen, a keyboard, and a ton of apps, I can get a text and write back right away, no problem. It's like I barely even have to look at it.
Exactly right. Live in our studio is Rosalina Nunez. She is an attorney at law here in Fresno. She will talk about the legal aspect of texting and driving. And sitting next to her is Dr. Kenneth Garvey, a chiropractor. Came in from Merced this morning, is also with us to talk about how many of us are causing damage to our neck and to our back by texting all day, all night. We even take the dang thing to bed with us at night and fall asleep like this. Bad for your neck, bad for your health, all the way around. We're even going to talk possibly to the CHP today by phone to talk about stats that have actually gone up. More people are texting and driving in California than ever before. So 436-MeTV option 11. Hopefully you're watching us and not texting right now. Back in a moment.
We need help to find this missing child. Delano Wilson was 1 month old when he went missing. He was last seen in Indianapolis, Indiana, August 27th of 2014. If you have any information, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. Please help bring Delano Wilson home.
Retro TV, your home for classic television. The greatest shows in history are here for you to enjoy. Join Cosby and Colt as secret agent men in I Spy. Ride along the Ponderosa with the Cartwrights in Bonanza. Hit the beat with Joe Friday in Dragnet. And that's not all. Retro TV offers endless fun and excitement for the whole family to enjoy. Retro TV, the best in classic television.
You can find Retro TV on over-the-air channel 13.4.
We're back here on the program, so weigh in, call in at 436-MeTV option 11 if you're one of those texters or worried about somebody in your family who is constantly on the phone, constantly on the computer. So an average of 2 to 4 hours daily on the computer, either on Facebook, maybe Twitter, maybe getting work done. Maybe you're not even on social media. Maybe it all has to do with work. Maybe you're an accountant and you're hunched over in your desk working at that computer station. All right, Rosalina Nunez is here, Dr. Kenneth Garvey, a chiropractor. So thanks for being here, by the way, and let's talk to you first, Dr. Kenneth Garvey. I want to ask you about some of the possible ailments that come with text neck.
Most of them are sprained strains of the neck. Ligaments are behind the bones, and when you're bending forward, as you stated earlier, there's an increased amount of weight on the neck. So
yeah,
all of that stress is going to come to the back of the neck. And we store chemicals in our muscles. And so
we put a graphic together that says some of the possible ailments. I guess you can get headaches, right?
Yeah, headaches, especially because your muscles are pulling on the back of your head from your shoulder, and all of that's going to be tight from bending over. Yes.
See, I'm trying very consciously to sit up straight this morning for some reason. But neck pain, where does that come from?
Well,
we see the graphics up there. That's one of them, neck pain.
The majority of people, when they're hunched over and they stay like this all day long, computer graphickers, all these type of people, they're bent over, and so that stress is caused on the neck. Anytime you showed the graphic earlier where you bend forward, it increases the amount of pounds that is pulling on
Is that
your
true?
neck. Yes. And there's increased surgeries due to the textings. If you go to the orthopedics, my brother-in-law works in that, and he's noticed that the doctors are stating there's more surgeries lately.
All right. I see here shoulder pain. That kind of comes along with neck pain and back pain because it's all kind of connected together, right?
Yeah, the shoulder girdle, the neck, the levator muscle connects to the back, and it also goes to the shoulder, yes.
All right, here's one I don't understand. Where did this come from? It says gastrointestinal issues. Is that correct?
From texting?
Yeah, I mean, you're hunched over, so you're kind of crunching your stomach. I don't know. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. I'm not a doctor, but who knows?
I don't deal with gastrointestinal injuries, but I've never heard of that one before.
All right, loss of lung capacity. Is that possible?
I mean, if you're hunched over, obviously you're decreasing the amount of lung capacity and the ability to breathe. If you're standing straight up, you have more area for the lungs to expand, yes.
Yeah, pinched nerve. Can you get a pinched nerve by being hunched over for hours at a time?
Yeah, and if it's tight muscles, you're going to be compromising the nerve, compinging it, and that will cause numbness and tingling down your arms if you're getting that. It could just be from muscle tightness.
Yeah. What about spine degeneration?
Spine degeneration usually happens with injury, but yes, anything that's causing the spine to swell up over a period of time is causing degeneration. And if there's non-movement to segments of the spine, that's what's causing the death of the cartilage inside of the spine. So you're getting decreased space and degeneration.
Wow, and I'm not ignoring you, Rosie. I'm going to get to you in a minute, but I want to find out from the doctor. Let's see, you're a chiropractor in Merced. How many patients are you seeing on average, say a day, a week, a month?
We see about
more. No, I'm talking about injuries sustained because of the hunched over part of texting and being on the computer, and
that's hard to tell. However, almost all people that come into the office has headaches, neck pain, and tightness in the neck.
From
almost
what?
Everybody, and there's different
From
causes. My practice is a car accident PI practice, the majority. But yes, there's a lot of computer people that come in. But almost everybody, I can touch their neck. I can touch your neck right now and tell you where you have pain.
Just by looking at me or Rosalina, can you tell if we have pain?
Well, now you straightened up, but your left shoulder was a little high, which means your muscle was tighter on your levator that's pulling on this side. So
maybe because I'm leaning on this side. I'm kind of leaning left.
I should stand up and come over there and see if you have pain.
We'll do that after the show.
Okay.
How's that? Okay. But I mean, so are you seeing more cases as you go to court dealing with issues with like car accidents and that type of thing?
We are definitely seeing more cases, and these are infractions. I mean, it's like speeding. You're not going to go to jail for texting and driving unless somebody gets hurt. But you get pulled over for texting and driving. There's a fine. It's an infraction. So there's definitely a hike in numbers there. But the problem is that usually you're not just getting caught texting and driving, you're causing an accident. And so people are getting rear-ended. You're at a stoplight, and this just happened to my 18-year-old niece. She had her 6-year-old brother in the back seat in a car seat, and they got rear-ended at a stoplight. They were at a complete stop, and then someone just slammed into them, and the guy said, "I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was sending out a text."
Ridiculous.
So it can be really dangerous, and there's definitely a hike in numbers there, and it's being called the new DUI problem. So DUIs are going down, and we've got this new epidemic of texting and driving, which is really sad.
And we're going to get into that during the course of the program. Not only can it cause health problems, texting all day long like my kids do, and playing on their cell phones, on their computers, their iPads, whatever it is, but if you do it while you're driving, that's even worse, because you're putting not only yourself in danger, but you're putting other drivers in danger that you could come in contact with. So 436 MeTV option 11. Pretty important program today. A lot more to get to here on this show today. Back in a moment.
Is taking care of laundry taking too much of your time? Have you become a missing mom? With a new fast, efficient washer and dryer from Ventura TV Video Appliance, you'll spend more of your day the way you want. Save now on Frigidaire's Advanced Affinity Laundry Pair. Let Frigidaire save you energy, water, and time. Don't spend your life on laundry. Upgrade today at Ventura TV Video Appliance and save.
It's almost time.
Now we'll find out once and for all about Clark Kent and Superman.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a TV show.
Yes, but who is he? What's his name?
He's Superman.
Golly, Clark, won't that be wonderful seeing Superman
Fighting a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and television the MeTV way.
No one can do the things that Superman does.
The adventures of Superman.
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Back here on the program, talking about cell phones and texting and TextNet. Do you know what TextNet is? Ed, you had heard about TextNet before or no?
I'd heard about it. I read about it a little bit, but you know, I can feel it. I can feel it when I'm texting too much in a day. I can feel the strain at the end of the day. So
you need to stop texting me so much. Save your neck, and you too, Doctor. And it's a shame on both of you. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Just listening to your show. Is it wonderful living in the U.S. where we have these tremendous problems, these first world country problems about bending over our screens, where in other countries, third world, fourth world, you know, have to find food and things like that. You know, it just seems like there's something not right, not balanced, and that's my comment.
Yeah, he's right. Something's out of whack. I mean, you go to another country, you know, a third world country, let's say, they're worried about, well, even they have cell phones, but I mean, they're more worried about getting food, water, the basic necessities in life, and we're worried about texting and getting TextNet. So something seems out of whack here, right?
it's definitely, yes, I agree, a privileged person's problem.
Exactly, that's a good terminology.
It's you know, it's one of those things where we do live in America. We are very fortunate and privileged to be here and have access to cell phones and all this technology and all these devices. But like everything else, you've got to take it in portions and not abuse things. You know, and cell phone use is one of those things.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to focus on the texting and driving and going to court because you know about that. But I do want to talk to the doctor just for a minute and show that video that I showed in the monologue, hunched over. I can't see this enough. Just check out the video here, the animated video. Here it is right here. So, you know, if your head weighs about 10 to 12 pounds, and generally speaking, 15 degrees, it weighs 27 pounds. 30 degrees, it weighs 40 pounds. 45 degrees, 49 pounds. And look at this. If you're hunched over at a 60-degree angle, you're pretty much done. It's like having a 60-pound weight on your neck. That's how much your head weighs. So, doctor, that's the question I have for you. Is this graphic? Is it pretty much right on?
Yes, it's true. And before, when we had computers, we'd go in and we would look at their ergonomics and see we'd make sure the computer screen was at eye level so their head was not bent at all. So that's what we did with computers. Well, now they're telling us you got to put your phone above at eye level. Your arm gets tired, you should probably stop texting. But you know, you can't do that because putting your arm at eye level, you know, it makes it tired real quick.
There are cell phones, I want to say it's the Galaxy that has that technology built in so that it tells you when it's too low and it tells you when to lift it.
Yeah.
So it is at eye level.
All right, let's roll a piece of videotape. It's called TextNet Animation. Oh, we have a call? Okay, we'll run that after the call here. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, guns don't kill people. People with cell phones do.
Okay. All right. Interesting comment. Yes.
I think there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was, you know, maybe sounded a little bit sarcastic, but I think there's a lot of truth to it. People are getting behind the wheel of this massive machine. They are operating this
like
vehicle. It does become a weapon when you're behind this vessel, this vehicle, and you lose complete control when you look away from the road. You lose control of it. And so we kind of need to pretend that you've turned the car on, you've set it on the road, and no one's driving it. So
Yeah.
That's what happens when you look away.
It's like having a driverless car.
Exactly.
Pretty much. So let's roll the videotape. It's got sound on it. Text neck animation, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, obviously there's a mix-up there between sound and no sound. We got to get our communication between us better here. So let's roll that same videotape from the top and let's talk over it. And then in the break, we'll get straight what we have sound on and what we don't have sound on. How about that? Okay, this is, what is this we're looking at here? We're looking at text neck animation. Doctor, go ahead and explain what we're looking at here.
Well, as the neck is bent forward, obviously you saw that chart where there's increased amount of pressure on the spine. The spine is bent over, and that's where you lose strength, and then the muscles become involved, and so you're straining the muscles. When you're sitting straight up and down, you see the 10 pounds of force on the back. A natural curve actually decreases the amount of stress of the muscles, and as you go forward, each time you go forward, now you're incorporating all the muscles to hold your neck up. The spine does not do that anymore.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. So most people, when they text or when they're working at a computer, they're in that position right there, right? Yep. You would say the majority of the people?
The majority are looking down. I look down. I mean, I have pain in my neck when I look down and text.
And do you look down and text as
yes, well? And then I put my hand up, and then my hands get tired, and I forget.
Okay. All right.
You can go to any restaurant, any bus stop. You can, people walking down the street, crossing the street, they are looking down at their cell phone. It's happening everywhere all the time.
Yeah. Hey, we got to go to break, guys, but we're here with Rosalina Nunez and Dr. Kenneth Garvey. He's a chiropractor. 436-ME-TV, option 11. Back in just a moment.
Hello, I'm John Walsh. We need your help to capture this fugitive. Julio Cesar Guevara Mejia is wanted by the FBI in Sacramento for the attempted murder of a 19-year-old female in November of 2007. Police say he lured the young woman to a hotel room where he shot her 3 times in the chest. He could be in Palm Springs, California or Houston, Texas. Contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI if you have any information.
Most-watched news channel in Europe.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Frigidaire Gallery appliances we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy.
Time for that upgrade to an Energy Star qualified French door Frigidaire Gallery refrigerator.
Quality appliances for the way you live. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise.
You can find movies on over-the-air channel 13.3. Movies. Our name says it all.
In the hustle and bustle of the streets, you need to be aware of your surroundings. But smartphone users walk with their heads down. They have no clue what's going on around them. To see how little they notice, we've sent out Joe, our friendly gorilla. Will these smartphone addicts spy our guy, or just walk on by without a glance? For most people, Joe is proving out of the ordinary. But it's amazing how many people on cell phones haven't even noticed there's a gorilla in their midst. Excuse me, did you happen to notice a gorilla back there?
No.
You didn't see a gorilla standing right on the street?
I was in my phone.
You were on your phone. That's a dangerous device. You can get injured out there. And you got to be careful.
All right,
Alrighty.
thank you.
Hi, excuse me, did you happen to notice a gorilla back there?
No. Oh, I do now,
You do now. You didn't see it before.
I did not see it before, but I was looking at what my next appointment was.
Studies have shown that even just talking on your cell phone can reduce your peripheral vision. And when you're texting, it can shrink to less than 1/10 of the normal range. It seems that when you need to concentrate on certain activities, such as using a cell phone, your brain uses the neurons that would normally be used for other things, like peripheral vision. Texting or emailing while walking is such a new phenomenon that we don't have a system for dealing with it. But with smartphone use on the rise, it's only going to get worse. A Japanese phone network created this animation to show what would happen when cell phone ownership reaches 100%. What a mess.
The mobile phone you have called is switched off.
We're never going to get people to stop using their phones, but I do think we can get talkers and texters out of everybody else's way. So we're setting up a new system, using temporary spray paint to make the sidewalk safer and easier to navigate. We've got one lane for people without cell phones and a dedicated lane over here for people who want to talk and text while walking down the street. And because texters don't look where they're going, we've put arrows onto the ground in the cell phone lane so they don't bump into each other. That's the plan. Let's see if it actually works.
I don't know. Did it work? I mean, I see this all the time. People walking across parking lots and not paying attention to traffic. No matter what parking lot I'm in, I see it all the time. They're just looking down at their phones. They're walking along the sidewalks, inside stores that I go to. I'm sure you see it too. People bumping into me that aren't watching where they're going because they got their heads down like this. That's a problem. It's a problem. Doesn't that video point that out? You're both laughing because you're both guilty of it, right?
I think everybody's guilty of it. You know, cell phone, we can't work without them anymore. We are completely dependent on them. We use it to communicate with friends, with family, coworkers. I use it to communicate with the courts. I mean, everybody is using the system, so it's hard to get around it.
And you're probably looking at your court schedule on your phone.
I use it for email. I can look at PDFs. I can look at my clients' files from my cell phone.
Wow.
I can look at everything from there. So it's, you know, it's a tool that I need every single day and that I use every day.
But if you go to the supermarket, you're not like this, are you? And not paying attention?
Well, my grocery list is on my cell phone. I make my list on my, you know, why pull out a piece of paper and pencil when you've got a notepad on your cell phone. So
Hold on, John, I got a text.
That did it. That did it.
My wife texted me, I love you, and I could not. If I don't text back, she's going to be mad at me.
Divorce papers are in the mail? Unbelievable. I mean, we're laughing about this, but listen to this. I want to put a graphic on the screen about Alaska. In fact, we've got two of them. Put whichever one first you want to on the screen. The graphic regarding Alaska and texting. That's right. Look at this. Hey, first offense. I said it right. First offense. $10,000 fine, 1 year in jail. Let's put the other graphic up regarding Alaska, and you'll see. Look at this. Okay, one-time offense. We already talked about that. How about if you injure someone? 5 years in prison, $50,000 fine. Seriously injure someone, $100,000 fine and 10 years in prison. If you kill someone, you can, I mean, forget it. $250,000 fine, 20 years in prison. Is this a little too excessive, would you say, or is this right on the money?
You know, I don't think that it's excessive. It is becoming an epidemic. Like I said earlier, it's becoming the new DUI epidemic. You know, and for a first-time offense on a DUI, you're probably not going to get a year in prison if no one got hurt. The fine is about $10,000 after you're done paying for an attorney and court fees and all these restitution fees. You're looking at about $10,000. So if you compare it to a DUI, it doesn't seem excessive. And the thing is that we've got to teach everybody a lesson. We've got to let people know how serious this is, because everyone is doing it.
There's a lot of people coming into my office. How did you get injured? I got hit from behind. And one of the recent ones, like, I looked up and I saw her on her phone, and almost everybody's getting hit from behind or running stoplights. I've noticed increased frequency of those. I mean, the driver that called in earlier said there's death with texting. I mean, how many times have you gone down the road and text yourself and the driver's looking at you and they're upset? Well, why are they upset? Because you're going to cause somebody injury.
And how about when you're in a red light and the light changes to green and the car in front of you doesn't move? Yeah. Why? Because they're
on their phone.
Texting. Okay. Have you ever slammed on your horn? Just sat on your horn? Come on, let's go. Move.
Just
it's
a small
green.
beep. Small beep.
Just a small one, because then you've got, road rage problems. People don't want to be told what to do. So.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the time when you want the CHP to pull up and say, look, you're texting, you're holding up traffic, you're going to get a ticket. That's it. And it's illegal to text and drive and be on your phone in California while you're driving. Hello? Caller, you're on the air. Hello?
Yes, I just wanted to call. I mean, I just turned on your show and I see the subject. Maybe it's been covered, but what did they say about the officer that, I've seen him more than once in Fresno, looking at his onboard computer while he's driving straight, supposedly, and, you know what I mean?
Who's
I think
that?
that's a lot worse than a cell phone. I'll take my answer off the air.
Are you talking about officers on the road like the CHP or Fresno PD?
Yeah, with their laptop.
You still there, caller? No, he's gone. Okay. Caller, I guess you're looking for an answer on the air, and I'm assuming you're talking about law enforcement looking at their dashboard computers. That can be a problem too.
It can be a problem if the officer is distracted. That's where the problem comes in. That's the cause of these car accidents is you're texting and you're being distracted. But there is an exception to this law. Even I, a civilian, not a peace officer, if I'm on the road and I need to call 911, I can use my cell phone while driving to do that. So police officers are, we're assuming that that's what they're doing. They're answering these emergency calls, and so that's an exception to this law.
Yeah, okay. We got to take a break. I am going to call, and we are going to get on the phone, Johnny Fisher. He is the Public Information Officer for the California Highway Patrol, to talk about this very important issue, texting and driving. And then later we'll put up some graphics as to what states have banned cell phone usage and texting while driving. What states? Not every state in the country has banned texting while driving. Another call here. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me.
Good morning, John. Good morning, Rosie. And I'm sorry I didn't catch the other gentleman's name.
Dr. Kenneth Garvey.
I just wanted to comment. The previous caller mentioned something about the law enforcement, and about 2 weeks ago, I was driving near Nunez in the River Park area where it goes and meets by where the GB3 and venue is, and there was an officer sitting at that turn, wanting to turn left across Nunez into looks like the residential or whatnot, and the guy he was stopped, must have been looking at his computer, looked up and plowed right into an oncoming car, and that was a Fresno PD officer. So I think that, I agree with the caller that the PD is, I think, with just having those devices in our vehicles, which we didn't have before, make it another distraction when we're driving. And I think this is a good show, and thank you for having them on, John. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the call. And 2 calls there regarding law enforcement. But I got to say, law enforcement is not the problem. They're not causing the accidents just because they have onboard computers. I mean, let's not get off topic here. Am I right?
Well, I think what they're getting at is everyone's being distracted, regardless if they're a police officer or not. They're not pulling over and answering.
Distracted,
so regardless, law or not, kids are driving with cell phones, and they don't know that they're going to cause an accident. Police officers are not trying to be distracted, but they are being distracted. Everybody's being distracted. So it's not limited to anybody. Everybody's doing it, and they're becoming detached from all these messages from Facebook that show people dying and things.
But the problem is teenage drivers. And you'll hear from the CHP officer in just a moment. We got to take a break. That is the problem in California. Everybody, like Dr. Kenneth Garvey has said here, everybody is being distracted, but the main problem is teens and texting. At least that's according to the CHP. We're back with our program in just a moment.
Attention all units. We have reports of 2 motorcycle cops protecting California's highway.
That's for us, good buddy.
The Men of Chips are on MeTV.
Hi, I'm John Baker. I'm John Baker. It's Officer Baker.
He's the blonde one.
Hi there.
Officer Poncherello, man. Frank Poncherello. Oh, I'm Frank Poncherello.
And he's the one who's Eric Estrada.
There's no way I wouldn't remember a name like that.
Catch the blonde one and the one who's Eric Estrada on
Now
Chips.
on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
We need help to find this missing child. April Andrews went missing when she was 15 years old. She was last seen in Pea Ridge, Arkansas in November of 2006. This is what we believe she looks like today at 23. If you have any information, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. Please help bring April Andrews home.
Watch Dr. TV on over-the-air channel 13.9.
Frigidaire. It means the first refrigerator. It means a history of innovations that help make your home life better. And now we introduce the new Frigidaire French door refrigerator with over 100 ways to organize for maximum flexibility. Built with adjustable flip-up and slide under shelving and stackable crisper drawers. It's the refrigerator that flexes to fit it all, no matter what your day will bring. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
The Ballad of Andy and Barney. Andy and Barney were lawmen, bravest you ever did see. Warned every crook in the record book to stay out of Mayberry. They were the law.
Yes, they were the law, and they didn't know fear.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I guess to sum it up, you could say there's 3 reasons why there's so little crime in Mayberry. There's Andy, and there's me. And baby makes 3.
Now on MeTV Fresno.
Want to create something extraordinary? Create perfection. Our lifestyle appliances make it easy. KitchenAid, Ventura TV appliance, and you, when only the best will do.
We need help to find this missing child. Erica Parsons was 13 when she disappeared. She was last seen in Salisbury, North Carolina in November of 2011. This is what we believe she looks like today at age 16. If you have any information, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678.
Back here on the program, we are going to try to get Johnny Fisher on the phone from the CHP here in a few minutes, but otherwise, I want to run a piece of videotape that's called Texting and Driving. This one's number 2. We've already shown one, And this is what can possibly happen to you or to anyone as far as, you know, a teenager, an adult, when you text and drive.
No, I don't know though. I'm scared. I mean, you're
Do you know that you're in my lane? No, not at all. Are you not paying attention? Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6. It's okay. There's enough time. Just pay attention. I'm not even halfway through my text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention. It's just supposed to be a quick text. I'm so sorry.
The cold hard facts of texting and driving. And I want to roll another piece of videotape and we can talk about this, but let's take the call first. Good morning, you're on Connect with me. Go ahead, caller.
Hello, is it John?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just comment about the fines for texting and driving or any type of distractive driving. Really should be, I think you were saying Alaska, what they're doing there, they got the right track. It should be based like Germany. I think is one country that does it. It should be a percentage of how much money you make. Like if you make, like whatever you make in 1 week, or say 1 week's gross pay. You know, that way it's the same for everybody. I was watching, I think, the History Channel, and they were saying somebody got a ticket for tailgating. They got a $20,000 fine for tailgating because they made so much money. So yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah, you know, you bring up a good point because maybe the laws are not tough enough here in California. Alaska, some people may think it's a little more excessive, but if you put up the graphic one more time, and you'll see that as far as Alaska is concerned, you know, if you kill someone, it's a $250,000 fine. You'll go to prison for 20 years. That's it. And I mean, that's the way it should be. You've taken a life, you're paying $250,000 out of your pocket, and then you've got prison time for 2 decades.
You know,
seems appropriate. I mean, you took a life, right?
Absolutely. You know, and we can't measure, or we can't compare the privilege of text, sending out a text, and compare that to what a life is worth. And so, you know, you set out to get to work, just like this young lady that was in the video, and she's trying to let her mom know that she's going to be home in a few minutes. She has no intention of hurting anyone. She has no intention of hurting those kids in the car, but she's so negligent. She is so distracted that she is the proximate cause of that accident. And so if those people get hurt, if someone loses their life, she's going to look at criminal charges.
Yeah, and see, look at this now. Another video that we picked off of YouTube. It's, you know, it's basically a public service announcement, but 2 young girls getting in the car here, or the SUV, and then they start texting, and you know what happens next. This is we're going to play this out until the bitter end. In talking to the California Highway Patrol earlier, Dr. Kenneth Garvey, they told me that, you know, you see a lot of car accident victims, and because of texting, but of the ages between 15 and 19, the #1 cause of death is car accident. That's according to the CHP. They also go on to say the #1 reason and the cause is distraction. That #1 distraction is, what do you think? Texting and driving. Of course, they hit the poll there. And then this video continues, and you'll see the end result here, and we do have a call. But when you text and drive, and if this happens, a child is crossing the street right there, okay? You know how easily that could happen? To hit a school child crossing the crosswalk? Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, why not just use technology by putting a device into every car that would prevent you from using a cell phone within 50 feet of your car, and that would eliminate any texting You could still have the OnStar because that'd be coded. So it just would prevent that. You don't want people to use it, do it that way.
That's a pretty neat idea. Maybe that technology will in fact come into play here soon. It's almost like drinking and driving, where they're using this technology now where if you have your blood alcohol is a certain level, the car won't go.
Right.
You can't drive.
There are apps that parents are using to put on their teenage drivers' cell phones where it does just that. As soon as they get into the car, it disengages the cell phone and you're not able to use it while the car is moving. So there are apps that parents can download for that. And if you're someone that just does not have the willpower to stop texting while driving, maybe you could download the app for yourself and do that.
Yeah, another phone call here. And good morning, caller. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Hi, John. Hey, you're working with a certain percentage of society that isn't going to obey the rules anyway.
Yeah.
And that creates a major hazard. So the best thing for car manufacturers to do is put a jamming device in the car system.
Yeah.
Jam all incoming and outgoing calls.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a great idea. I'm surprised somebody hasn't thought of that already. But now, caller, I don't know if you're still there, but you can, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you can go buy a new car that has a built-in system so you can just punch a button here or there and you can talk on your cell phone while you're driving.
Both my cars, it says answer and you can answer and drive without looking down.
That's a distraction.
If you're looking forward, you know where that's at. You're pushing on and
That's a distraction. Am I right?
Is it? I mean, I think I could.
I don't think it is.
I think as an attorney,
it's a distraction. Anything that takes your eyes or your mind off the road is a distraction.
Not.
If you're looking and you know where it's at, you're not taking your eyes off the road.
Yeah, I don't think it's a
You can
distraction.
hang up and answer by looking without
But you're
looking.
being distracted by the fact that you're on the phone talking. You're not concentrating on driving.
And looking at GPS, and looking at where you're going to drink, and looking at your coffee, and looking at there's all kinds of distractions.
Changing the radio station.
If they're decreased to a minute, you're preventing. So that's what they're trying to do, is they're putting those things you can talk without texting and losing that more.
Lowering the risk.
Yeah. I think we have to take a break. 436-ME-TV, option 11. We're going to try, we're with Dr. Kenneth Garvey and Rosalina Nunez, and we're going to try Johnny Fisher from the CHP here in just a moment. 436-ME-TV, option 11, back in a moment.
Take a look at this. Let's play.
This is too hip for you. I'll slow down.
Let's play.
Watch all your favorite classic game shows on Buzzer TV, KBBC Digital Channel 13.7.
When you're looking for Whirlpool innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, we'll help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified Whirlpool appliances save you energy and money, and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Hello, I'm John Walsh. We need your help to capture this fugitive. Francisco Molina Nieve has been on the run since March 2008. The police and the FBI need your help tracking this coward down. He's wanted for brutally beating his girlfriend and for the use of a firearm. He has 3 freckles and a crescent shape under his right eye. Call the Colorado FBI at 303-629-7171 if you know where he's hiding.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Frigidaire. It means the first electric refrigerator, the first compact electric range, Now, there's the Frigidaire Gallery range with Symmetry double ovens. It's designed to cook multiple dishes at multiple temperatures, so you can prepare the entire meal at the same time. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
We are back here on the program, 436-ME-TV option 11, trying to get Johnny Fisher on the phone from the CHP here. In the meantime, let's put up some graphics and some general stats from the National Safety Council. We'll run through these real quick here. And these are stats, some of the latest stats, reports that cell phone use is up while driving. It leads to 1.6 million crashes each year. Nearly 333,000 injuries occur each year. Hello, yeah, I think we have him on the phone right now. Johnny?
Yes, sir.
Hey, John Mallows here from Connect With Me. How are you?
Hi, Mr. Mallows. It's nice to hear.
Good. You're on the air here. We've got a couple of guests in the studio. Rosalina Nunez, she's an attorney at law here in Fresno, and Dr. Kenneth Garvey, a chiropractor from Merced, talking about texting and what a bad thing it is for your health and your neck and your back and all that. But I want you here to talk about how bad it is for your health to text and drive. I understand the stats are up from 2014. Is that correct?
Yeah, we just had a press release go out just a couple of weeks ago, highlighting the fact that, it's sad to say, but, where was it? Let me find it here for you real quick. Here we go. That everything's gone up for some reason since 2014. I just find that just a little odd because, man, we've been working pretty hard, pretty diligently on getting those numbers down, and according to the California Office of Traffic Safety and the CHP, this new study showed the 39% increase in the percentage of California drivers seen using their phones while driving. So basically, it looks like they were doing a distracted driving survey, where they're just watching vehicles, marking them down, and I mean, when something goes up from a 6.6% of drivers in 2014 up to 9.2%, that's pretty significant. I mean,
right.
And we're all doing our part as far as getting the word out. And anytime that we ever talk to anybody, it's hey, put your phone down. And
right.
One of the biggest things that being the public information officer, I'm tasked with going out and talking to kids. Because that's where true change is going to start, is with our younger drivers. And my partner, Dave Singer, and I use the analogy of the lightning rod. And so basically how we talk about this is, if I gave you a lightning rod and I told you to stand on top of this building in the middle of a thunder and lightning storm, would you do it? And unanimously, every kid and every parent that's in these classes or in these presentations, they'll all say no. And so we'll talk to each one of the kids, and we'll try and single them out a little bit and say, well, why wouldn't you do it? And I don't want to get struck by lightning and die.
Right.
I said, okay, I can respect that. And so then I did my research, and I went on the National Weather Service website to see how many people subsequently passed away due to being struck by lightning. And in 2014, 26 people had passed away. And then on their Excel spreadsheet that they provide, they'll say that the majority of them were working on the roof, so they're standing on a taller area, and then occasionally you'll have one person that was struck by lightning while riding his motorcycle on the freeway. And so you have like rare occurrences, and without saying that being insensitive to the loss of life from other people, because it is tragic. However, we're trying to prove a point that over 4,000 kids between the ages of 15 and 19 are dying on our freeways and roadways due to traffic collisions.
Yeah, let me interrupt you there, Johnny. And we're talking with Johnny Fisher. He is the Public Information Officer for the California Highway Patrol. We're limited on time here. We've only got a few minutes. So just a quick question. Do we know how many people died in 2014 on California highways due to texting and driving? And how many of those were teens, or do we not have that info yet?
From Switters, and they're usually a year behind. So we have like the 2013 in numbers to really work with, but
go ahead, just quickly for 2013 then, how many people died on highways due to texting?
well over 3,000 folks.
3,000 people in California died while texting and driving because of texting and driving, right?
Yes.
Okay. And let me ask you one other quick question, and then I think Rosalina has a question for you. Just a quick thing, because we're talking about distractions of all kinds coming from everybody, including law enforcement, because you guys have these onboard computers. Can that be compared to texting on a cell phone, some of these dashboard computers that law enforcement has?
I mean, anything that takes your attention away from driving is going to be a distraction, right? When you drive your vehicle, it requires every one of your senses. So are there times where law enforcement officials have to use their radios or use their computers or use the tools that we have? We do. We are trained in all that.
Okay.
But just like everything else, I mean, things happen, and, you can't...
All right.
You can't avoid everything that's predictable.
Great.
Officer, I have one question. Do you collect information as far as these text messages that are going out and causing these accidents? Are you able to recover what the context of those messages are? I mean, are they important messages? Is it something that's urgent?
You know what? No. We're not, permitted to get into other people's into their phones.
Yeah.
It's kind of a touchy situation when it comes to that, personal privacy and whatnot. I personally wouldn't want to know. For me, but and a lot of it comes from witnesses that said that as this person passed them at X, speed X, they saw them on their phone, or they saw them talking on their phone, or they saw them reading a newspaper or playing the tuba or whatever it is. So it's not necessarily just phones. The number one distraction for teenagers is, believe it or not, other kids in the car.
Yeah, and for parents, a distraction would be small children. I know that for a fact because that's happened to me before many years ago. Go ahead. You got another quick question or no?
No, I was just going to comment that I remember seeing, I think it was on Facebook a few months back, where a woman from another state, she was updating her Facebook status, and she was just commenting that she really liked this certain song, and she was doing that while she was driving, and she ended up running into a big rig, and she lost her life.
Yeah.
And, her Facebook status was updated, but she was gone.
Officer Fisher, I do want to ask you one more quick question. I think we have about 1 minute left on the show, otherwise we're going to get it cut off. Earlier in the program, we talked about Alaska. First offense for texting and driving would be 1 year in jail, a $10,000 fine. If you injure someone, it's $50,000, 5 years in prison. If you kill someone, it's a $250,000 fine and 20 years in prison. What do you think about that? Too stiff a penalty or not? We've got 20 seconds.
It's hard for me, being in the position that I'm in. I'm not really allowed to comment on opinion or anything like that. However, our DUI penalties here in the United States are very strict as well. I don't know. I can't really give a good comment on that. I apologize.
Okay. No. We'll have you on the show sometime. You want to come on the show? We'll be glad to have you on. I appreciate your time.
You guys calling in. Thank you so much. It was nice to talk to all of you.
Thank you very much. Johnny Fisher, California Highway Patrol, Rosalina Nunez, attorney at law, Dr. Kenneth Garvey, a chiropractor from Merced. Thank you. We're out of time. I don't want to get cut off. You're coming back next month, I think. All right. Thanks for being with us. That's going to do it for us today. Tomorrow we'll talk about nursing homes and much more. See you tomorrow. Have a great day.